Welcome back to The Walk with me, Masi Munyange. Today's episode we have a guest called Kahiga, who at some point in his career felt alone.
Thanks, Masi, for having me. My name is Kahiga Ngata.
Welcome to The Walk, Kahiga. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, thanks, Masi. I started working in 2013, just before I graduated. I was working in a university, but the fortunate or unfortunate thing is I got that job before I graduated. So my pay reflected the same. I was employed as a casual with the promise that I'll be hired as a graduate in like 2 or 3 months once I graduated.
Kahiga, take us through your career journey.
So after uni or after that, I was in the university. I stayed there for 1 year.
So how much did your first job pay you?
So my first paycheck was 432 shillings per day, and that excludes the weekend. After 432 shillings, after the first year, we were given a raise. After that, I didn't stay there for too long. I moved to another organization. It was a pretty huge organization. And how I got that job, interestingly, is the day before the interview, I called my cousin and told them I was going for an interview. And they sent me a link. And those questions are the ones that I was asked during that interview. So that interview I did really well. After that, I moved to a startup, and from I think 2016 to about until 2021.
Your career profession is in which area?
Okay, so I'm principally in IT, specifically in support.
Tell us some of the challenges you have faced while working in IT. Its ups and downs.
It's an interesting journey. The challenge with IT is it keeps growing, and you definitely can't catch up with everything that's coming up. But it's been an interesting journey. I think I enjoy working, and I plan to keep it that way.
How did the pandemic affect your career?
During that pandemic, at work, things had started getting tensed. So I had that feeling that it's just a matter of time. But I for sure knew that retrenchment was coming. So I think around April, May, around there, we were told to go work from home. And I knew anytime from now, retrenchment was coming.
Take us through your retrenchment process and explain to us how you handled the job loss.
I think for me, fortunately or unfortunately, I'd previously been in 2 organizations where there was redundancy and retrenchment. But during those 2 exercises, I wasn't affected. I remember one of my former colleagues telling us, if you're ever retrenched, that month, that salary, please use it for therapy. I didn't know what it meant then. So fast forward, there's this retrenchment going, and I saw it before because there were changes in the organization, unnecessary changes. There was a lot of pressure. So for me, I'd seen it coming. I'd started applying for jobs. I remember one day my manager busted me, and it was a lecture. For me, I think I just made peace, and I knew it was a matter of when the announcement will come. So fast forward, the call came. I remember it was a 20-30 minute call. The call came, and for me, I remember I was very casual about it. And my manager, I remember he or she thought that I was a joker, that how can I take this job loss that casually. But for me, I'd seen it coming, and I didn't see a way forward or a way out of it in the organization I was in. I remember the first 2 months, yes, I was busy doing a few things, but after that, now reality starts to sink in. Every month, there's no money coming in. You're just making withdrawals from your account. And I remember when you used to, like, let's say you're hanging out with your friends and you're paying a bill, you'd get low-key upset and you're wondering, you guys know I don't have a job. So for me, it's just money out, and it used to hit you differently. I think there was also a lot of triggers in terms of you call your friend and they say, I can't talk now, I'm in a meeting. That's now when reality starts to really kick in, that for real you don't have a job. Then you apply for jobs and they say you are a good fit, but you are an expensive hire. So there was also that. So you're wondering, do I go back to a salary you're earning many years ago? Are you ready for that change of lifestyle? Personally, I wasn't. I didn't want to downgrade. So there was that. I think there were also a lot of emotions, like who do you like call or who do you reach out? Like if you want money, for example, who can you like openly tell and they won't ask you questions or they won't judge you? So who could you like honestly and openly reach out to? I think it was a very interesting journey. What I really learned is you really have to be strong mentally. I think it also really helped me to know, growing up you always told be aware of who your friends are, keep your circle close. You don't really understand some things until it happens to you. So for me, I really got to understand who you can reach out to personally, who you can reach out to professionally, and just appreciating the few close friends or appreciating the few close confidants that you could like openly talk to.
What are some of the emotions you went through after the retrenchment?
It really didn't hit me until like August, September. You start calling people, they tell you, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you back. Now you can't like keep chilling anymore. You have bills to pay, of course. And there was that feeling that you are alone, Do you call back your former boss and tell them you want to come back? Do you lose your ego? And I think during that time, what I really learned is difficult times help you to make you better. But I think during that time, I've never felt alone like that.
How did you navigate your walk towards getting back on your career path?
What I did is I told close people that I'm looking for something, started applying jobs, got an opportunity through a friend. So there was this farm that had like lots of money and they wanted to make an impact like in Africa. So they were looking for places where they can invest money. I got into that, and one of the projects that we started was this water kiosk. We were in the business of bottling, purifying and selling water.
So what has been your greatest lesson in your work?
The greatest lesson in my career journey is, I think there are a couple, it's not one. First, you must be strong. And by strong, I mean mental fortitude. So that's one, being strong, and being strong is being strong mentally. I think the second thing that I learned was, at the end of the day, you are alone. People will be there, you'll be given handouts, or people will feel oye for you for some time. But they also have their own lives, they have their challenges. So life goes on for them, and life must go on for you. You're not the first person to experience a tragedy. You're not the first person to lose a job or be retrenched. There's that, life goes on. I think lastly is just be truthful, just be honest with yourself, and just know where to like rank or rate people, because I think they are like there's a famous quote that says, never forget the three different people in your life. So basically, those who helped you in your difficult times, those who left you in your difficult times, and those who put you in difficult times.
And finally, what advice would you give the younger people who are starting out?
My advice to people who are starting out, I'd say, is first, know yourself. By knowing yourself, I mean know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and know what you want and know your why. The reason I'm saying that is your personality, or basically who you are, really affects the person you are, the kind of relationship you'll have with people, and your professional life as well. Let me give my personal example. My first job, I was earning about $432 per day, call it less than 10,000. I got that job in February. So in class, or rather the classmates we used to hang out with, I was the one who had a job. So if we used to meet for drinks, I would be told, when unafanya kazi, and understandably so. So I'd remember I'd buy, let's say, a bottle or two, but now you'd remain with like 4,000, for example. So fast forward, I remember 8 months later, a very close friend of mine got a job, and they got an internship, and they were earning 30,000. So me from my 8,000, but it's a full-time job, and the intern earning at 30,000, there was that, you have to do some reconciliation. Fast forward 3 months later, they got a job and they earned 60,000. So growing up, I remember I used to be told, start small, blah, 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 but over the years, what I've come to learn is just know yourself, know what you like, and know your money preferences or know your money usage. So my friend who was earning 60,000 is very conservative with money. Myself, if I earn 1,000, I'll spend 950 shillings. So you need to know yourself, or rather understand yourself, so that you're able to set those high ambitious goals. I know we get a lot of advice on spend your money wisely, minimize your expenses and stuff, but I think personally what matters, if you understand yourself, you will know what triggers you and what doesn't trigger you. I think my advice, long story short, to the upcoming guys, know yourself. I think from there you'll be comfortable selling your worth. If you think your worth is $1 million, that's fine, but please be ready to prove your worth or show your value for that.
We have come to the end of The Walk episode 7, where Kahiga felt that he was alone but not alone. He got up and walked through his career journey. See you in the next episode.